Alright everyone, how's it going? It's time for the annual World Grand Prix. Call it Abyss Global Finals. And of course, as an avid IDV tournament fan, I'm here to give you my predictions for the group stage so you can just copy me if you're not familiar with the competitive scene or just simply cannot decide. But before we start, I just need to clear things up a little bit. The predictions are based on my 7 years experience with the game as well as watching hundreds of tournament matches, but they are my own opinion after all, so if you agree, that's great. If you don't, that's also cool. Also, me predicting a team to do well doesn't mean I support them, and me predicting a team to do bad does not mean I hate them. And lastly, please note that not everyone likes the teams you like and not everyone hates the teams you hate, so please, no arguing over that anywhere. Okay, my predictions will be split into 3 categories. The first one being, I'm very much confident about this. If I get this wrong, you can come back and bully me category, which will be represented by Green Box. Then we have the I think it'll happen, but it could go other ways category, which will be represented by a Yellow Box. And lastly, we have the I have no clue, it's just guesswork, copy at your own risk category, which will be represented by a Red Box. Alright then, let's start with Group A. AR is the only non-professional team in this group, coming from the SEA region. While they are probably one of the better non-pro teams out there, I really can't see them finishing higher than any of the teams in this group. They got really unlucky with the draw for sure. 5th place, Green Box. As for 4th place, it's most likely between DFM and WBG based on their performances and results, but it's not easy to tell. The Japanese team DFM is probably the easy answer for most, as it is their first time playing COA, and they're definitely not considered one of the better teams in IJL, as they finished 7th out of 8 teams in the most recent IJL season. However, their new hunter MZK has been phenomenal, and they breezed through the qualifiers with ease. Granted, the only pro team they had to come up against was Scars, but if you look at WBG, they were, at best, inconsistent in the qualifiers, as both their hunters and their survivors were, well, let's just say not up to expectations. But obviously, it's been a few weeks since the qualifiers, and their form has probably changed. And since DFM rescuer Takoyaki won't be able to play in the group stage for personal reasons, as well as the fact that WBG has literally never gotten eliminated before nor after the quarterfinals since the team's formation in COA 4, I'll say that WBG scraped through to the next round in 3rd, while DFM finishes 4th. Yellow Box. Top 2 is genuinely much more straightforward. TE has been convincing overall in the qualifiers with their hunter Pipe proving his worth, but their survivors will definitely scare you from time to time, and they still seem to struggle with their late games a lot. For RC, it's somewhat similar. The hunters, Aka and Alf, are probably the scariest hunter duo in the world right now, but their survivors face a slight issue as Rally won't be able to play this year due to health reasons. So the question is, can their substitute player Fuku keep up with the team and get enough familiarity in the 2 weeks' time? Well, regardless, I still believe RC should be fine in the group stage as they have a better team overall, and especially their hunters. I do think the TE survivors will struggle a lot against Aka and Alf, so TE gets 2nd and RC tops Group A. Green Box. Moving on to Group B, and oh god, where do I even start with this? While this group looks to be the deadliest group this year, I'll just say that none of these teams are without their own problems. The Axie survivors have not been in the best form recently. There have just been way too many scary moments that honestly shouldn't have happened at all. But the good news is that their hunter duel of Kakiri and Kakaka are still very reliable, being one of the most iconic and well-performing duels in IJL. As for GR, there has been changes to their survivor roster. The rescuer, Zero, was not convincing during the qualifiers, and their new fighter, CTA, is showing some inconsistencies still as he tries to get used to the competitive scene. But their hunter, Jane, is absolutely killing it. He is arguably the best hunter in the world at the moment. Then we have the 2 Chengdu teams, GG and Wolves. GG have been woeful in the qualifiers, losing 3 matches and barely even qualifying. Their hunter XAWM has been struggling a lot and just seems like he couldn't win for some reason. Their survivors have been okay, that's compared to their hunter. But if they want to do anything in this tournament, they would have to wake up. For Wolves, they didn't play in the qualifiers as they qualified automatically. But it's unsure whether it's a good thing for them or not because their star player 487 had a public fallout with literally the entire world. The reasons are not important, but what is important is that he's not on the team anymore. While the new players are very skilled, it is still unknown whether they have the actual experience to replace such an important role in the team. and they really didn't have any chance to practice it in actual matches. X team is the only non-pro team in this group. Their hunters have gotten better but are still inexperienced. Additionally, their survivors are also not very consistent, seemingly being unable to perform once they come up against a better hunter. I think I'll have to give them last place, green box. The other 4 places are genuinely very difficult to call, but I'll still give GR and Axie's first and second place respectively because I have faith in their hunters. And as for third place, I just trust GG more than Wolves, solely because how experienced the players are, and I'll trust that they can pick themselves up before the tournament starts. Red box for all 4 though. Group C is probably the group of life with the 3 pro teams and 2 non-pro teams. Let's just get it out of the way. Omni and PRR are probably 2 of the worst teams in the tournament. Which one's worse? I would say probably Omni, as 2 of their survivors got banned for reasons I won't mention here. But the thing is that they had to let one of their hunter players play survivor because they wouldn't have enough players to start a match otherwise. So yeah, I'd say they get 5th and PRR gets 4th. Green box. And for the other 3 teams, they got to be happy with this draw because if any of them got put into Group A or B, they will face a serious chance of getting eliminated. But with this draw, instead of looking at elimination, they're looking at a realistic chance to top the group and go straight into the quarterfinals. FL had a decent season in IJL. With their new survivor players Katsuki and Moli Ling, they were able to have a very strong start. They did wither away a little bit in the end, but they definitely have a very high ceiling, and they have all the reasons to be hopeful. They just really need to work on their consistency. Fun plus ZQ is interesting. Both their hunter and their survivors have shown inconsistencies throughout qualifiers, and they were absolutely awful in the beginning, but had one good run and they qualified. They just seem to be either really good or really bad, and the chances are like 50-50. It really depends on which of the 2 forms they show up with on their match days. Then we have ACT, probably the favorites to win the group because they were actually pretty good in the qualifiers after ZZ9 picked up his form. However, they're always known to be a 50-50 team because somehow they always find a way to stun you when you expect them to be bad, but once you have any hope in them, they just bottle it again. If you didn't realize, these 3 teams are very difficult to predict as they're just all wild cards. But I'll put FL first, ACT second, and Fun plus EQ in third, all in red boxes. And finally, Group D, the ultimate IVS rematch group. Yes, I am aware that B4U has defeated both Zeta and MRC at the IVS last year. Can they do it a second time? I don't think so. Both of these teams have just become so much better. Both teams won the most recent season of their domestic leagues, and MRC Hunter Bailu is monster one of the best in CN alongside Jin. Their survivors, under one of the best team captains out there, Xiao Di, are also very strong, as they're known to have some of the best in-game decision makings. Except for when they're not, because MRC is also known to scare you from time to time, but that's beside the point. Zeta needs no extra introduction as the reigning champions of COA last year. Peter and Mika Melody complement each other perfectly, and their survivor team consists of some of the most mechanically skilled players in the world. Who's better? Yeah, it's pretty much impossible to tell. It just depends on their form on the day of the match. But I'll give MRC a slight edge because for some reason, the Zeta coach Miraika loves Darkwood's opera, which just doesn't work. Also, I feel like the Hula Baloo nerf recently might affect Peter because Hula Baloo is, after all, one of his specialists. But yeah, both of these teams are really good. They're probably 2 of the favorites to win the entire tournament, and I'll have to respect them and give them red boxes. As for third place, yeah, I think B4U's got it. They've always been so unlucky with the draws before, but this time they've actually gotten a doable group, and I think they will take advantage of that. They will move on to next round for the first time. Green box. For 4th and 5th place, I'll put LX above RT because LX actually has the highest ranked hunter player from the Asia server, and I think that alone would make a difference. But I'll give the yellow box because these 2 teams are new and we don't know too much about them. Alright, that's everything for the group predictions, but let's quickly run over the results predictions as well. Character section. Most popular survivor in round 1. A strong tournament character that won't get banned. I went Puppeteer. Other good choices may include Aeroplanist or Gravekeeper. The most popular hunter in round 1. It was Opera last year, but I don't think it'll be her this year. I stuck with Goatman, but QS won't be a bad guess either. Contestant section. Best survivor. This one is a lot of guesswork. You can copy me if you want, but just note that there's not a lot of reason behind this. Best hunter, I went with Jin. but Bailu, Kekiri, or Peter are all okay picks. Team section. For Dungeon Escapes, it's just guesswork. Pick good survivor teams. I picked MRC. Other good choices are probably Zeta or RC. Chest openings, it's almost always GG. They're known to open lots of chests during games. It's been the case since forever. And finally, map section. Yeah, Ever Sleeping Town. It won last year, and I don't think it'll change this year. And with that, we're done. That's all the content for the initial group stage predictions. Use these for reference if you'd like. And here, I would wish all teams good luck and show their full potential on the stage. Very excited to see some amazing matchups and hope to see you all soon.